thank you guys so much for sitting down with me today. I'm so excited to talk about old days and all things new and with new rules, obviously. So I did want to dive into your latest release, Old Days. Obviously, within the song itself and within all of your music, there is a common storytelling theme. So obviously, your music has evolved a lot since your first release back in 2019, and even since, your mixtape that was released last year. So I kind of wanted to know, how has the songwriting process for you guys changed or developed over time since 2019? Or whether that be, with songwriters or personal growth, new writing techniques, how has it evolved since then?
That's a good question.
It's a good question. I mean,
I was thinking about this last night. I was talking to someone about it last night because they were listening to Call It.
Yeah.
And just like being the lyrics of Call It to Old Days.
Yeah, that would have been.
They're very different because Call It is very, I would say, a bit more teeny. Quite teeny.
You know what I think it is? I think when we started, to be honest, we didn't really know what we were. We knew what we liked, but we didn't necessarily know what a band was. And I think when you start a band, or when you kind of start putting out music, you're trying to work out what your voice is and what you want to say. So I think it's fair to say that our first releases, we didn't really know what that was. We were kind of looking for it.
Whatever sounded good, right? Yeah. Whatever sounded catchy, whatever sounded.
I think there's a confidence to the music that we're putting out now, and maybe it's a bit braver. And I think, songs like Pasta kind of started that, where it was just daring to try something that people weren't going to like or be into. And even just down to like chord choices and just stuff like that we probably are the only ones that that pay attention to it. But maybe a bit more of a confidence to it. And then also I think we've just like learned how to write with each other better and bounce off each other and collaborate between the three of us.
What we'll say is, like, one last thing on that is, I think Old Days is like the best example to us of like what New Rules is. And that's super exciting that we can say that about it. We can even say that at all, that we've kind of found that.
Yeah, absolutely. Your music has matured so much, even in the last year with the mixtape that you guys released as well. So kind of following up more about like your songwriting and most recent releases, I do want to talk a little bit about Not Alone. Obviously, a lot of your fans online have expressed, how kind of being a part of the fandom and kind of being a part of the family feels like such a safe space and healing place for people, which is obviously, so admirable. And music is such a universal language. So I kind of wanted to know, since there was such a strong reaction and you guys have, such a passionate fan base, I know that, some fans even got tattoos for the song as well. Kind of what was it like seeing the impact of both the song and the project that you guys had also worked on with that had on your fans?
Well, that was kind of the intention behind that song, is we knew that it was going to be really important for the fans. In the same way that, referencing Pastor again, like in the same way that song was like for them and we felt was an important message to get across to them. It kind of did its job, I guess, and it was just really nice and fulfilling to see that. And obviously we had that part of our website where fans could upload experiences where they hadn't been alone or felt like they were and needed comforting. And just seeing how many responses we got to that was great. So yeah, it did its job.
I think it came around at a nice time as well. I think we kind of knew we were about to go out and do some shows and kind of play for the first time, fans. And I think that was, I don't know, I just think that was really important to, gauge how people felt about the song and stuff like that. But I think, it kind of had the desired effect. I think people really, really related to it. And I think it was quite an emotional one at the gigs, wasn't it?
Emotional, yeah.
I was crying.
Yeah, there was definitely an emotional response from people both online and in person. I've seen so many different video edits of you guys online with fans, and it's really heartwarming. So I did want to talk a little bit more about fans. Recently fans in New York, like myself, obviously had the opportunity to not only experience new music firsthand, but also you guys gave them a chance to also give their feedback to you guys, which is really, really cool. And you guys also dove into like different songwriters that you've worked with. And I really liked how you guys gave fans a voice to kind of participate in this process as well. And I know that you guys do love to kind of test out new music at shows as well. So I wanted to know, what role does this fan feedback, have within like shaping your music, that sort of thing?
It's everything. I mean, personally, and I think the boys would agree, I loved that because it was the first time that we'd ever done like a playback like that of playing fans' demos. And, at the end of the day, like obviously we want to release stuff that feels true to us, but if it's not resonating with the fan base, then what's the point, I guess? And even with things like merch designs, we couldn't decide between a t-shirt recently, and we were just like, God, what do we go with? So we were just like, hang on a sec, so why don't we just ask? Like, what do you want? Like, what would you actually want to spend your money on? And like, what would you enjoy wearing? And so we just tweeted it, and they said, and we said, all right, we'll make that one then. And
Yeah. And I think exactly, we could have gone for about another week arguing with our team over like what t-shirt we should do.
What color should it be? It's always
What color? And between ourselves, just on songs, like we spend so long on these songs, and we scratch our heads over them for so long. And I think like, yeah, just kind of sitting down and getting to play it to the people who are going to end up being the ones who kind of fly the flag for the song was really important.
Yeah, and they kind of make it their own in that way, and they kind of relate their own experiences to music as well, which is really cool. And then along with that, speaking a little bit more about fans, I did want to dive into kind of touring. Obviously, you guys have been touring so much within the last year. You played intimate shows here in New York and in the US, but then you've also played shows in the UK. And then earlier this year, you were back in the UK as well. So obviously you have new music. You have music that dates back to 2019, and also you have unreleased music that you've performed at shows. So I wanted to know, when it comes to kind of creating a tour set list, it must be very hard to kind of balance fan favorites, popular songs, unreleased music. So I wanted to know what goes into creating like the perfect tour set list.
A
whiteboard.
A lot of overthinking. It's kind of, as we release more music, we're having more fun with it because we have obviously more to choose from. And we're big fans of artists like Joe Mayer, who kind of like, we like to decide, because obviously the three of us can break down to the three acoustics, and we've done shows like that before, but we've also done shows where we've been a full band, and it's like nice choosing which songs we're going to play just on acoustics, or just kind of like buskery for fans, or which songs we're going to do with a full band. So
I think it's fun. It makes every show different. It makes like it makes every tour different, that, you know, we're doing different things every time, and we can, I guess, decide, actually, let's not do this one with the band, let's do it acoustic, let's do it this way, let's do it that way. Let's sing this song tonight, swap others in for other songs. But like, yeah, we weren't always in that position. I think the first few tours we went on, it was like we were struggling. We were like, oh, we need a cover or two to basically bulk up the set list. But it's really nice.
It is nice not having to play everything, and kind of, I actually like it, kind of people come in and being like, oh, I hope they're going to play this one, and then maybe we don't, and it means you have to come to another show. So it's like,
soon we'll be able to,
because I'm all about the money. So
there you go.
Yeah, I know that a lot of fans really, really want the full band to come back eventually or soon. With like the next.
Oh, us too.
Oh, we are bringing it back.
It's funny how you said, like, you were like, we've done intimate shows here and over here and like over there, and it's like, I think we're done with intimate shows for a little bit.
Too much intimacy.
Way too intimate.
Yeah, it's time to bring the big shows back. But kind of, I did want to talk a little bit about some of the accomplishments that you guys have had. So obviously, you know, you played your first music festival last year, which was so exciting, in Madrid. And then along with that, you do have another festival that's coming up in August. You played MTV, you're very booked and busy. So I wanted to know, what are some other goals that you guys want to kind of achieve together as a band?
But I think a lot more touring is the main one. I mean, we have loads of music we want to put out, and we spend most of our time kind of working on that. But I think really the goal is get it to a position where we can just tour all the time, because it's the best thing. It's so fun.
Yeah, I think like there's always things like on our list, you know, or our vision board or whatever that we'd like to tick off. But like support tours and festivals and stuff like that. But I think for us the main thing has always been headline tours, because we just, obviously there's nothing better than all New Rules fans in a room together, and seeing that get bigger and bigger over the years has been amazing. So I think just headline tours as much as we can.
You guys have any like dream venues that you guys really want to perform in, whether that be here or anywhere in the world?
There's a couple.
I feel like I need to change my answer because everyone says this, but Red Rocks would be great. And
basic.
Very basic.
No, I mean, that does look amazing.
You know, we went to see a gig in London recently at the Royal Albert Hall.
Oh yeah,
and that's a really good venue. I'd like to play there.
Speaking of it, Roundhouse would be great as well. I love that venue. It's in Camden in London, and it's.
So I'm gonna say Slane Castle, because I think that's the biggest one in Ireland. So
good one.
You know,
dream big,
baby.
Yeah, is that like a theater or like a venue? What kind of venue is
Castle.
It's. Did you see where Harry played his last gig in Ireland? That's where Harry Styles played. It's like sort of a valley on Castle grounds. It's massive, but like
Yeah.
it's kind of cool because you all like everyone can see because it goes up like towards the back.
Forget stadiums. New rules are talking valleys.
Valleys, baby.
Yeah. we won't
Oh,
pass.
there's one called the Gorge. Have you seen that?
No.
Do you know that one?
We're just
There's-
playing like
Is that in the US?
Yeah, it's in the US. I'm not sure exactly where it is.
Yeah.
I bet you Zach knows. But anyway, it looks amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Madison Square Garden would be amazing one day as well. Because that's here in New
It'll be
York.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we take it.
No.
But along with that, I did want to talk about some of your recent musical inspirations. Obviously, you guys have noted people like John Mayer and Ed Sheeran in the past. And obviously, being in a band and writing music, even though you guys may have similar tastes, you obviously all bring like collectively different and personal music tastes to the band. So I wanted to know, who are some of your most recent musical inspirations, or music that you've been loving lately?
To be honest, I am rinsing the Jonas Brothers latest record. I absolutely love it. It's great.
hell yeah.
Yeah, taking a lot from that.
I'm doing that thing where I can't remember a single thing I've listened to in my life. What about you? So,
Always been a big Ben Howard fan. Haven't loved some of the recent albums, but he's just put one out that I do love, and I'm very happy about it. So I've been listening to that quite a bit.
Nathan's getting a Spotify
I'm
out.
just
Wait
checking
one
the
sec.
Spotify real quick.
Wait one
Sorry,
sec.
1 second. Let me.
Playlists.
You know what's coming up.
Oh my god, I can't even get on it.
Oh my
I can't find it. Okay, sorry, bear with 1 second.
All right.
Okay. Well, there's this band called Keen, which I listen to
Oh.
kind of like
Yes,
a
like
lot.
early 2000s, Keen, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere, you know. Yeah.
So I like that band a lot. So that's kind of been I'll always go back to them at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really good as well. And then I wanted to know, this is the last question for today. So I wanted to know, obviously, can you guys give us a glimpse into what fans can look forward to for the future for this year?
Well, a lot more music, because that is, like I said earlier, it's kind of, we're spending a lot of time in the studio at the moment, and yeah, we're working on a lot. But I mean, more music, and we will be doing a lot more shows. We're kind of working out kind of what that looks like at the moment, so that's exciting.
Yeah,
Always.
planning some things for the future. We can't really give away yet because they're still in the embryonic phases.
The
But
little fetus plans.
there's fetus plans, but some headline things in the works in the UK and not in the UK. So we'll see what happens. But
Yeah, obviously,
no.
you can't tell us anything yet, but I'm really excited for that as well.
let's do.
But yeah, that kind of wraps up all of my questions for today. Thank you guys so much for making the time to talk with me.
Of
Thank you.
course.
Right.
Lucy, thank you
Yeah.
so much for having us.
Great to
Yeah.
chat.